Yes, so probability is defined as the chance of occurrence of an event. Whether an event will occur or not, the calculation of that is called probability. Okay, so what is the probability that there will be rain? What is the probability that you are going to win a match? What is the probability that this batsman is going to score a century? So every day we are calculating probability. Okay, so the study of mathematics where we calculate the chance of occurrence of an event is called probability. And probability of an event is represented by PE. Okay, P stands for probability, P stands for probability, and E stands for the event. So probability of an event, the formula is number of favorable outcomes, divided by the total outcomes. Okay. What is probability? Probability is defined as the number of favorable outcomes by total outcomes. So what is favorable? That is on top and the total is below. A simple example is, let's say, tossing a coin. If I toss a coin, what will happen? The coin can show heads or it can show tails. So tossing a coin is an event and heads or tails are the outcomes. So these are called the outcomes. So either it can be a head or it can be a tail. So what is the probability of getting a head? So you have chosen heads. So you have chosen heads, that your favorable outcome is 1 out of how many outcomes are there? 2. So probability of getting heads is 1 by 2. Probability of tail is also 1 upon 2. So there is a 50-50 chance of getting head or tail. So that is why when there is a team and they decide that who's going to bat first, tossing of a coin is considered a fair way of deciding who's going to bat first, isn't it? Because the chance of getting head or tail is same. It's not that heads has got more chance of occurrence and tails has got more chance of occurrence. It is 50-50. Such events are called equally likely events. Okay, in real life, equally likely events are less. I'll just tell you more about it. So first of all, we have to understand that there are certain events which are called sure events. Sure events, probability is always 1. What is the meaning of sure event? Which is 100% sure to occur. For example, if I ask you what is the probability that the sun will rise from the east, it always rises from the east. There is no case where the sun is going to rise from another side. So probability that the sun will rise from the east is 100%. It's a sure event. What is sure event? Always 1. So 1 is meaning 100%. 100% means what? 100 out of 100. That is why the answer is always 1. So anything which you are 100% sure. Okay, today is Wednesday, tomorrow will be Thursday. Isn't it a sure event? It is a sure event. So whenever we are having 100% surety that the event will occur, that is going to be a sure event and the answer will always be 1. And the probability of an impossible event, you feel that the event cannot occur at all in any circumstances, nahi hoga, that is going to be 0. Okay, probability that it will never occur is going to be 0. Okay, so if you are saying, thinking of what could be an impossible event, we can say if today is Wednesday, what is the probability that tomorrow is Sunday? Nahi hoga. What is the probability that the sun will rise from the north? Not possible. Okay, so all these are impossible events. 100% sure that it will not occur. That means it will be 0. So that means we come to a very important conclusion that probability of all events will lie between 0 and 1, isn't it? If it is impossible, it is 0. And if you are 100% sure that it will occur, it will be 1. So probability of all events will lie between 0 and 1. There is no event which can be less than 0 or there is no event which can be greater than 1. So all answers are between 0 and 1. So if suppose I ask you a question, which of the following cannot be probability? Which of the following cannot be probability of an event? The answer is 0.01, okay, 2 by 3, 1 by 8, and D we have 5 by 2, and E we have 0.005. So which do you think cannot be probability of an event? Which answer cannot be possible? 0.01, 2 by 3, 1 by 8, 5 by 2 और 0.05 probability हो ही नहीं सकता. Which is that one? The option will be D. Why do you think the option is going to be D? Because in D, the probability, if you calculate 5 by 2, you are getting 2.5. You are getting 2.5. So probability has to be always between 0 and 1. So this is between 0 and 1. 2 by 3 is 0.66. This is between 0 and 1. If you calculate this, this is going to be 0.125. This is between 0 and 1. 0.005 is between 0 and 1. So if you have some negative numbers, that's not possible because it's less than 0 and you cannot have number greater than 1, right? So which of the following cannot be probability? This is the answer, that 5 by 2 cannot be probability. Hope that is clear. Okay. Now, all our answers are lying between 0 and 1. Now, let's take another case where you are taking a dice. When you throw a dice, how many outcomes will come? Like in coins, there were 2 outcomes. When you throw a dice, how many outcomes are going to come?
6.
Exactly. The dice can show 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Any 6 numbers can come when you throw a dice. When you throw this, any 6 numbers can come. Is there any possibility of getting only 4 or only 5? No. All the numbers have got equal chance of occurrence. So if I am saying what is the probability of getting the number 1, you have chosen 1. Out of how many numbers? Out of 6. So probability of that is going to be 1 by 6. If you are choosing the second number or the third number, all answers are going to be 1 by 6. Every number has got equal chance of occurrence, 1 by 6. Right? Just like in coin, there are 2 outcomes. So everything is having 1 by 2, 1 by 2. Here also, every number has got equal chance of occurrence, that is 1 by 6. Now, probability of an event, we know is between 0 and 1. So PE is the probability of the event. Now, PE dash E dash is written like this. Okay, they put a dash like this, E dash, or in some books you will find that E and there is a line on top, or they are going to write here P not E. Okay, all these are same. P E dash, P with a E and bar, or P not E. That means the event will not occur. The event is not going to occur. Okay, this is the probability that the event will occur. This is the event will not happen. Okay, so I hope you're noting this, that E dash or E bar or not E, this means that the event will not occur. For example, if you are given a question that the probability of India winning the match is 0.6. Okay, probability of India winning a match. So that is the probability that the event will happen. Okay, India winning the match is 0.6. What is the probability that India will not win the match? That is the question now. So what will be the answer? Can you take a guess? If the probability of India winning is 0.6, what will be the probability that it will lose? Okay, let me rephrase the question.
0.6. Sir,
Huh?
0.6.
0.6. No.
Yes.
If there is a 60% chance that India wins, what is the percentage of chance it will lose?
Sir, 40.
40, right? Because the total has to be 100%. The total probability is always 1. So now if I come to the question back again, if the probability of an event is 0.6, what will be the probability that the event will not happen? What will be your answer?
0.4.
Exactly. 0.6, the probability that the event will happen is 0.6. So 0.4 will be the probability that it will not happen. So from this, we get a very, very important conclusion that probability of the event taking place plus probability of the event not taking place will always be 1. Very, very important. The total probability is always 1. The probability that it will rain is 70%. Okay, probability that it will rain is 70%. 70% is 0.7. What is the probability that it will not rain?
0.3.
0.3. If the probability of raining is 0.7, probability that it will not rain will be 0.3. As simple as that, right? So total probability will always be 1. So I hope you've noted this, that in a dice is a case where all the 6 outcomes, every outcome is going to be an equally likely event. Okay, it's not that the dice, this type of dice is called an unbiased die. Unbiased means no number will be biased. What is the meaning of bias? means some numbers will keep on repeating. For example, if there is a biased die, hamesha 4 aata rahega. Okay, you heard about the Mahabharata story, where Shakuni used to throw the dice and he used to get the number which he wanted. So that is called a biased die. You can control the dice. So this is not a biased die. Or you have a biased coin. Every time you toss, it will come heads. Okay, so that is all used by gamblers to cheat other people. They, increase the weight on one side so that one number comes, etc., etc. So you can manipulate that. So we are not talking about those. We are talking about unbiased die and unbiased coin. So in this, if it is unbiased, then every player should get equal chance, or every number should have equal chance of occurrence. Okay, so this is clear that the probability of the event happening and probability of the event not happening is 1. Okay, now I come to something very, very important, that is called an equally likely event. Okay, this is where people actually get confused. What are equally likely? I gave you 2 examples. One is tossing a coin where you got heads and tails. And the other I gave you is a dice where you got all the 6 numbers. These 2 are equally likely events. Why? Because all the outcomes have got exactly equal chance of occurrence. Heads ka equal hai, tail ka equal hai. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, sabka equal hai. Everything has got 1/6 chance. It's not that one number is preferred over the other. The dice, when you throw, any number can come. Coin, when you throw, heads or tails. So no bias. Okay, nobody can say that if you are getting heads, then the judge empire is cheating and all that. So this is an equally likely event. Now I'm going to give you some cases and let's try to find out whether it's equally likely or not. Okay, you are starting a car. You are starting a car. Now you have 2 options, isn't it? The car may start or the car will start. Now my question is this an equally likely event? Is this an equally likely event? Remember what is an equally likely event? Equally likely event is an event in which, okay, you can note here, an event in which all outcomes have equal chance of occurrence. Every event is having equal chance of occurrence. So do you think when you start a car starts and car may not start, do you think that this is an equally likely event? That is my question. Will the car start and car may not start? Is it an equally likely event? Considering this definition that I gave just now, do you think that starting a car, that the car, you are taking the key, ignition key, and you start the car, is it an equally likely event or no? What do you think?
Sir, I think yes.
Okay, you think it is? Yeah, yes. What about the others? Any difference in opinion? So if you say that it is an equally likely event, you know what is the meaning? That probability is 50%. The car may start or car may not start. So every time when you step out of a house, there is a big tension that the car may start or may not start. Are you tensed when you go out somewhere that the car may start or may not start? Every time, do you feel that fear or no?
So like sometimes.
Sometimes, okay. So now if I give you another case, in 1 year, let's say 365 days, how many times did the car not start? Can you give me a number that how many times did the car not start? Or it started all the times?
So like 50 times.
50 times the car did not start? Car did not start and you had to call a mechanic 50 times in the year?
Maybe
So
less, sir. 10 times.
very less. Actually, the probability of the car starting will be very high as compared to the car not starting. Maybe once or twice or thrice a year, it may not start because of certain reasons. But the majority of the times, 99% times it will start, isn't it? We are not tensed whenever we are going out. Okay. We are not tense that the car will start or will not start. 99% it is starting. 1% sometimes some problem may come. So out of 365 days, if you are saying it's an equally likely event, about 180 days it did start. Okay, equally likely ka matlab kya hai ki exactly equal chances of occurrence. So it is starting a car. if you think this way कि car start हो भी सकता है नहीं भी हो सकता है, then we will say it's an equally likely event, but it is not equally likely because I told you equally likely का क्या मतलब है? Equally likely means starting and not starting should be equal. That means if you are starting the car 360 times, 180 times it starts and 180 times it did not start. Okay, so this is not an equally likely event. Another example I'm giving you, you know, there is a basketball player, there is a person, not a basketball player. There is a player and he is trying to put the basketball in the basket. A basketball player is trying to put the ball in the basket. So the ball may go in the basket, isn't it? Or it may not go. Two choices. Do you think this is an equally likely event that the ball may go or may not go?
No,
Is
sir.
this, huh?
Sir, no. It
Why?
is not an equally likely, sir. Sir,
Why?
because sometimes if we see, if we try to throw, so it doesn't go inside
So
the
it may go or
majority
may
of the
not go.
time.
That is what you are saying, no? Then it is an equally likely event. Do you think it's a 50-50 chance?
Sir, 50-50, I
Sir,
will
I
not say.
think yes.
It's a 50-50 chance.
Yes, sir.
Then
Sir,
what is the need for people to practice if it's a 50-50 chance? If you are a
sir, I
professional
think it is
basketball
not
player,
50.
is 50-50?
Sir, if like
It,
professional player, then no.
no, otherwise is it 50-50?
Yes, sir.
No, it is not 50-50. If a person who doesn't know how to do it, that means he is throwing it 100 times, 50 times it goes and 50 times it doesn't go. It doesn't happen like that. Normally, if you don't know
Sir,
how to do it,
majority,
the majority of the times it will not go. If you don't know how to put the ball in the basket, the majority of the times it will not go. If you are a professional basketball player, the majority of the times it will go. It will never be 50-50 कि 10 बार फेंका, 5 बार गया और 5 बार नहीं गया. सबके लिए नहीं है. You and your friends, let's say 10 friends are doing it. Do you think that for everyone who is not a professional basketball player, 5 बार जाएगा और 5 बार नहीं जाएगा? ऐसा नहीं होगा. किसी का 2 जाएगा, किसी का 1 जाएगा, किसी का 3 जाएगा. जो अच्छा खेलते हैं उसका ज्यादा जाएगा. बट टॉसिंग अ कॉइन का ऐसा नहीं है. व्हेन यू टॉस हेड्स एंड टेल्स का इक्वल चांस है. हियर इट इज नॉट इक्वल चांस. इट डिपेंड्स ऑन द प्लेयर. सो व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट equally likely, this is not an equally likely event again. Why? Because it depends on the skill of the person who is playing the ball, isn't it? Coin में आप जितनी भी mastery कर लो, the probability of getting head and tail will still remain 50%. But here, the more you master it, the probability of going into the basket will be more. Are you understanding? So depending on your skill, the probability will increase. That is why the people practice. No? Okay. I'm giving you another one. Suppose a child is born. The child could be boy or girl, isn't it? Is this an equally likely event? Is this an equally likely event? When a child is born, it could be a boy or girl. Is this an equally likely event?
yes, sir, it is.
Yes, this is a big yes because you have done in biology XX chromosome and X chromosome. The probability that a boy is born is 1 by 2, probability of a girl being born is 1 by 2. So exactly equal chance of occurrence is happening. So this is a case of equally likely event. Tossing a coin is equally likely. Okay, because when the child is born, there is an equal probability. Ya to boy, ya girl. It's not going to be, that the probability of getting a boy is 70% and 30% girl. Okay, there is nothing like that. So it is equal chance. So this is what I call an equally likely event, whereas starting a car is an equally likely event. Okay, and for the